everyone, welcome to today's craft session. Today we're going to be making some paper stars which you can hang in your rooms for decoration. This is one that we made earlier and I think they're really pretty. What you'll need is 6 pieces of paper. They can be plain, any colour, as long as we can make them into squares. You'll also need some sellotape. It might be easier if you have a sellotape dispenser. A stapler, you could use glue if you want to, but I find sellotape works better, and a pair of scissors. So, to start with, we're going to make our first petal of the star. So I just need one of my pieces of paper. What we need to do is we need to fold this corner over onto the edge of the paper to make a triangle, and then flatten it down all the way. So you should get this section which is kind of overlap, and we're going to cut that off because we don't need that. I'm going to move that to one side. So now we have a triangle, and what we need to do now is to move one corner of this triangle over to fold it in half and make a smaller triangle. And again, we're going to press the crease down. The next step is to cut diagonally into the pieces of paper, and to do that we're going to hold the triangle with the fold facing to our left and the flap by there, and we're literally going to cut 3 lines at regular spaces, but make sure that you don't go to the end. I'm going to leave about a centimetre gap between the end of where I've cut and to the fold, and then I'm going to make 2 other cuts in exactly the same way, and stopping again about a centimetre before the fold, and following exactly the same thing again with the last cut. And I've only gone to I've left a centimetre. Okay, so now we're going to open out our piece of paper, and we should end up with what looks like this. Is a piece of paper with loads of cuts in it. For the next step, I'm going to lay it flat on the table, and this is where we're going to construct our star and the intricate design that we've got on this one. With the closest 2 cuts right in the middle of the paper, we're going to fold them together like so, and we're going to stick them down with a piece of sellotape so that it makes a tube. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to fold our piece of paper over to the other side, or turn it rather, and we're going to take the next 2 sections and we're going to do exactly the same thing, and we're going to stick them down. This time I'm just going to stick on the diagonal so that it still holds it into place. We need to do exactly the same thing again now, and turn it over again, and this time take the next 2 sections, fold them together, and once again stick with a piece of sellotape. As I said, if you do want to use glue, you can. I've done this before using glue, but I did find that it wasn't quite as sticky. And then we've turned it over for the final time. We're going to take our last 2 sections together, and we're going to stick those in place. And there we've got our first leaf. We need to do the same thing again with each of the 6 pieces of paper. Okay, so now we've got all 6 of our leaves for our star. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the first one and hold it up so that it's vertical. And we're going to get each of the petals and we're going to place them on top of one another using the corners as a guide. So you can see how it's creating some of this star by here. And we're going to continue to do that with each of the 6 pieces of paper that we've got. As you can see, they're all together, and what we're going to do is we're going to use our stapler and we're going to staple all of those bits at the top like that, and we can now fan out our star. All you need to do now is we're going to attach and stick each of these petals together at the midpoint. Now you can either do this again with your glue, with sellotape, or for speed I'm going to staple them. Remember, you need to do this with each of the petals at the midpoint centre. Last one. Oops. And there we go. You've got your finished star. If you wanted to hang it up, you could use a hole punch to punch a hole in the top and thread some string or some thread around, and then you can hang it in your room wherever you like.